holidays are supposed to be about escape. We book flights chasing sunshine, beaches, or new landscapes with a belief that we'll leave our daily worries behind. Yet, for all the excitement of escaping into unfamiliar terrain, the past year has forced us to confront a sobering truth. Even paradise can turn perilous when Mother Nature reminds us of her power. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The tragic stories of Jay Slater, the young British man who disappeared in the rugged ravines of Tenerife, and Dr. Michael Mosley, the celebrated TV doctor who died after collapsing during a hike in Greece, serve as stark reminders that our relationship with nature is too often built on complacency. We seek the beauty of mountains, seas, and trails, but underestimate the dangers they hold. Both deaths captured global attention, not only because of who these men were, one a teenager filled with promise, the other a respected public figure, but also because of where and how their stories ended. The accidents did not happen in war zones or on expeditions to remote jungles. They happened in tourist hotspots, places millions visit each year without a second thought. That, perhaps, is the most unsettling part. The allure of escapism. When most of us imagine a holiday, we think of ease, brightly lit resorts, cocktails by the pool, carefree laughter. Yet tourism thrives not only on comfort but also on adventure. Many seek out excursions, hikes, or off-the-beaten-path experiences, believing that nature is there to be enjoyed like an amusement park. Social media has amplified this urge. Instagram-worthy views and TikTok travel reels encourage us to chase the hidden gem rather than settle for the hotel's sun loungers. We want the kind of memories that come with risk, but rarely do we consider that risk in practical terms. For Jay Slater, a hike down into a ravine seemed like a detour on a holiday in Tenerife. For Dr. Michael Mosley, a walk along a Greek island trail under the Mediterranean sun felt like a healthy, life-affirming activity. Both decisions were natural extensions of the holiday spirit, and both turned fatal. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Jay Slater, the ravine that became a tomb. Jay Slater's disappearance in June 2024 unfolded like a nightmare thriller. The 19-year-old from Lancashire had been holidaying in Tenerife with friends. On what should have been just another night of fun, Jay ended up staying with acquaintances in a remote Airbnb in the mountains. The next morning, he set off alone, without water, in trainers, trying to find his way back to his accommodation. He never made it. For weeks, his family and volunteers scoured the rugged terrain, described by locals as treacherous, unforgiving, and dangerous even for seasoned hikers. Helicopters buzzed overhead. Rescue teams descended into gorges and ravines. But days turned into weeks, and hope faded. When Jay's body was eventually found in a remote ravine, locals admitted that they themselves avoided those trails. What killed him was not malice, but misjudgment, the assumption that a landscape, because it exists within the borders of a holiday island, is safe. Tenerife is marketed for its beaches and nightlife, but its volcanic terrain is wild, steep, and unpredictable. The same land that draws tourists with dramatic views has also claimed many lives. Dr. Michael Mosley, heat, dehydration, and human fragility. Just days before Jay's story made headlines, the world was shocked by the sudden death of Dr. Michael Mosley, the physician-turned-TV presenter who had built a career on educating people about healthy living. While holidaying on the Greek island of Symi, Mosley went missing after setting out on a walk. His disappearance triggered an island-wide search. 4 days later, his body was discovered, collapsed on rocky ground, mere steps away from safety. The cause of death: heat exhaustion and dehydration. Mosley's death was especially poignant because he was a man known for discipline and health awareness. If anyone could have been expected to respect the dangers of the sun, it was him. Yet even the most informed can miscalculate. The Mediterranean summer sun is brutal, and when combined with exertion, it can overwhelm even the fittest body. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The Psychology of Underestimation. Why do tragedies like these keep happening? The answer lies in human psychology. We assume that if an area is accessible to tourists, it must be safe. Danger, in our minds, belongs to extreme environments, the Amazon rainforest, the Arctic, or Everest. But peril does not always announce itself with obvious signs. A dry ravine can seem like a shortcut until the heat, lack of water, and sheer distance sap every ounce of strength. A coastal trail can look manageable until the sun beats down, turning the body into a furnace. A gentle hillside can turn treacherous with loose rocks, hidden drops, or sudden shifts in weather. We underestimate because nature is deceptive. Beauty masks danger, and leisure dulls our instincts. On holiday, we are lulled into thinking nothing can go wrong. A pattern of holiday tragedies. Jay Slater and Michael Mosley are not isolated cases. Every year, holidaymakers lose their lives in circumstances that highlight our fragile relationship with the natural world. Tourists swept away by rip currents on safe beaches. Hikers falling from cliffs while taking selfies. Climbers underestimating how quickly mountain weather can turn. Heatstroke victims collapsing on simple trails. Each story reinforces the same lesson: nature does not bend to human schedules or desires. Locals know better. One striking detail in both Jay's and Mosley's cases was how locals reacted. In Tenerife, residents described the ravine where Jay's body was found as so dangerous that they themselves avoided it. On Simi, locals were clear: walking in that heat at that time of day was ill-advised. This raises an uncomfortable truth. Tourists often ignore the knowledge and caution of those who live closest to the land. Where locals exercise restraint, visitors chase novelty. What's ordinary and hazardous to a resident is exotic and enticing to a tourist. The problem is not curiosity. Exploration is a natural human impulse, but arrogance. To walk into unfamiliar terrain without adequate preparation, equipment, or respect is to court disaster. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The role of climate change. Adding to this equation is the undeniable impact of climate change. Europe's summers are becoming hotter, drier, and more unpredictable. Heat waves now push temperatures beyond what used to be considered normal, increasing the risk of dehydration and heat stroke. For tourists, the timing couldn't be worse. Many travel precisely in summer, believing sunshine equals enjoyment. But the sunshine of 2025 is not the sunshine of decades past. It is more punishing, less forgiving. Dr. Mosley's death, attributed to extreme heat, is part of a broader trend. More holidaymakers will fall victim to temperatures their bodies cannot withstand. The media's role in shaping perception. When these tragedies unfold, the media frames them as shocking, unexpected events. Headlines carry tones of mystery, sometimes bordering on sensationalism. But the underlying reality, that nature is powerful and indifferent, often gets lost in the noise. In focusing on the personal drama, we neglect the systemic lessons. Instead of merely asking, what went wrong, we should be asking, how do we prepare tourists for the realities of the landscapes they visit? Should governments and travel companies take more responsibility for warning visitors? What cultural shifts are needed to foster respect for natural dangers? The human cost. Behind each headline lies a shattered family. Jay Slater's mother traveled to Tenerife and pleaded for her son's safe return, only to face the unbearable reality of retrieving his body. Dr. Mosley's wife joined searchers in Greece, clinging to hope before confronting the cruel truth. These stories remind us that holiday tragedies are not statistics. They are personal catastrophes that ripple outward, devastating families, shocking communities, and leaving scars that never fully heal. What we fail to learn. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of these cases is how quickly the world moves on. We shake our heads, sigh at the tragedy, and then scroll past to the next headline. But nature is patient. It will wait for the next unsuspecting visitor who believes they are immune. The lesson is simple yet hard to absorb. Respect the natural world, especially in unfamiliar territory. Preparation is not paranoia, it is survival. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Towards a culture of respect. How then do we change? The answer is not to stop exploring. Human beings are wired for adventure, and the joy of discovery is part of what makes travel worthwhile. But balance is needed. Education. Tourists should be briefed on local dangers in practical, clear terms. Airlines, hotels, and tour operators could do more to warn travelers about heat, terrain, and safety. Preparedness. Basic precautions. Carrying water, wearing proper shoes, checking weather, should be as routine as packing sunscreen. Listening to locals. Respect the wisdom of those who know the land. If residents avoid certain routes at midday, follow their example. Changing attitudes. We must shed the illusion that holidays suspend the rules of reality. Nature does not recognize tourist visas. A larger reflection. At its core, these tragedies are about more than tourism. They reflect a larger human struggle, our tendency to believe we are above nature rather than part of it. We build cities, fly across continents, and bend landscapes to our will. Yet a single misstep on a mountain path or a few hours under the wrong sun can undo us completely. Mother Nature does not punish or forgive. She simply exists, indifferent. The tragedy is not that she is cruel, but that we so often forget her power until it is too late. Conclusion. Lessons written in grief. The names of Jay Slater and Michael Mosley will linger in the public consciousness for years, not only for who they were but for how their lives ended. Their stories form part of a tragic anthology of holiday misadventures that should, if we are willing to listen, remind us of humility. Holidays will always carry risks, but risk is not an invitation to recklessness. To honor the memories of those lost, we must begin to see nature not as a playground, but as a presence to be respected. The next time we lace up shoes for a coastal hike or wander away from the main path, we should remember, beauty and danger often walk hand in hand. Mother Nature offers breathtaking wonders, but she demands caution in return. The question is whether we are willing to listen before another headline reminds us of what we already know but too easily forget. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.